What's up? Hey, if you guys can hear me, welcome to Coffee with Michael. Give me a one in the chat. Give me a little one in the chat. Let me know you guys can hear me and mic's working. Anybody there? Be right back. And I'm back. Got some ones. All right. Appreciate it. Hey, Donna. Thanks for joining us. Debbie. Hello from Michigan. What's up, Dave? Hope you're doing good. Deepak. How you doing, buddy? Pierre. Good to see you again, my friend. Mauricio. Loud and clear. You were one of the first ones to sell the Lux box last week. Congrats again, buddy. What's up, Sheila? Lots of ones. All right, good. It sounds like everybody can hear me. Facebook user. How you doing, buddy? Hey, if this is your first time joining us, I want you to go to streamyard.com/Facebook and make sure you give them permission to use your name so I know who you are. Welcome back. Thank you. Is that for me? Appreciate that. John, look at this guy. Just constantly swimming against the stream. Got to be different. What's up, dude? Hello. Hi from Maryland. What's up? Maryland. Where is everybody from? We got Maryland, Toronto, Jacksonville, Florida. You should hop on over to the new Shine On place and come check it out. I'm not there though. They keep me in a bunker. Pasadena. Amanda's from here. Well, welcome from here. I hope here is a beautiful spot. Deepak says he's doing great. Good. Mauricio says he's about to get to the dirt simple process section of the course. So Mauricio won a free copy of the course last week for being one of the first to sell the Lux box. So congratulations, buddy. Hope you're enjoying the course. And it helps you level up your game here. Deepak says sales are coming. That's awesome. Share some more about that in the chat. I'd like to read about it. I need help with granddaughter audiences. Well, there's no super secret sauce to it. Females, you want to pick skew older in the age range. So I'd say at least 40 plus, maybe 45 plus, maybe even 50 plus or higher. Choose parents all, because you can't be a grandparent unless you've had kids, right? So parents all. It's usually where I kind of start with that one. John is funny. You are funny, man. You should come join me on the stream. Noel from Dallas. What's up? Used to drive through Dallas about 3 times a year. I remember like about 20 minutes before you get to Dallas, if you want to fit in, you go white knuckled on the steering wheel and you go at least 10 or 20 miles an hour faster than the speed limit, and you don't stop using your turn indicator to change lanes or anything like that. You just drive like a mad person. That's my experience at Dallas. Going through it and back through it on my way to and from Houston. Other than that, it seems like a cool city. Philly, what's up? London. I love the community we have here. It's pretty cool that, I mean, it's the internet. I suppose it gets old, but it's pretty cool. We got people from all over the world selling these products. Erwin, I don't know if Erwin's with us today. He's from South Africa. I don't know. I find that pretty cool. One thing I'm puzzled by, though, is how come the United States is like, even when you compare all the Western countries, you have the USA, Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, Ireland, New Zealand. Even when you compare them all, it's like the sales in the United States is just unmatched anywhere else. Now, I get it for a lot of places. It kind of makes sense, particularly, you have some areas in the third world and things like that. And there's some language barriers to reach some other countries, but it's always kind of puzzled me that you don't even see like really a fraction of the sales that come from the United States and other countries. It's always been quite strange to me. Donna from Oklahoma. We have Facebook user from Nebraska. We have another Facebook user from Costa Rica. I love Costa Rica, by the way. Beautiful and clean, and it's just, it's awesome. John says, you're here. You didn't join me, though, in StreamYard. Oh, do I probably need to send you a link if you want to do that, huh? Hit me up on, if you want to join me on StreamYard, hit me up on Slack. We're going to get into it here in a minute, guys. So many of you may not have seen it, but I put a poll in the Facebook group to asking you what you wanted to go over. And most people want to know how to scale from 10 to 100 products. So that's what we're going to focus on today. We will do some Q&A and some other things. I doubt that's going to take all of our time, but we're going to focus on that. I'm mainly stalling right now, trying to eat through my dark chocolate here, because once I get rolling, I'm not going to have another chance. On scale, do limit the ages you target? Well, it depends. If the data inside Ads Manager tells me I should, I will. So if you go look at the breakdowns in the top right of Ads Manager, you can break down by age and look at where your purchases kind of skew, and you can make some decisions that way. But just make sure you have a lot of data before you go doing something like that, because you don't want to unintentionally torpedo your campaign by making decisions on bad data. Hello from under a big pile of snow in Colorado. What's up, Amy? Snow in Colorado, huh? Well, if it's going to snow, it should be in big piles. That's what I've always said. None of this light kind of dusting crap gets everything all slushy. If you're going to come hard, come like you mean it. Freaking give us 3 feet of snow. That's what I want. Philippines, what's up, Nelson? Noel says you got that right. Not sure what I said. There's like a delay here between me talking and getting the responses in the chat. So I assume I am right, though, most of the time. Working through the Facebook part of the course. First of all, thanks for buying the course. I hope you're finding it helpful. And I hope it helps you, really level up your game. So good luck with that. Auckland, New Zealand. Now, I'd love to visit New Zealand. That is cool. So the entire globe, Philippines, New Zealand. I know we have folks from South Africa, the UK, Canada, Costa Rica. I mean, I think we have people here from every continent except Antarctica. Do we have anybody here from Africa? Let me know. Oh, Morocco. Boom. Right there. So there you go. We have the entire globe covered here on this call. That's pretty cool. Another person in Costa Rica. How many of you think we should do a Shine On Mastermind in Costa Rica? Give us a... What's the... what do they say in Costa Rica? Pura Vida? Is that what it is? Pura Vida? Is that Costa Rica? I think it is. Yes. Give us a Pura Vida in the comments if you think we should do a Shine On Mastermind in Costa Rica. Pura Vida in the comments. Let's see it. Wisdom sold 88 necklaces, the same design, but struggling with scaling, keeping consistency. Fluctuates a lot. One day record sale, another day no sales. Well, we're going to talk about some of that today. Stay tuned. As we go through it, I'll take questions too. And, if I don't answer your specific questions, you can ask and we'll try to get through it. Roshan, you also were one of the first sellers of the box and got a free course. So congrats, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Shamima, hope I'm saying your name right. How are you? Vancouver here. Very new. Need some advice for Christmas. How much should I spend per day in ads as a newbie? So I recommend go to our YouTube channel, watch every YouTube video I put out, search for my name, in the comments of the Facebook group. I put out tons and tons and tons of free content, and I'm sure I've answered that question several times. So go look for that. You'll find an answer, I promise you. All right. Hang on a second. I think John's going to come join us for a little bit. Hey, so let me ask you this. Oh, I'm getting to all the Pura Vitas now. Yeah, let's do it. Pura Vida, Pura Vida, Pura Vida. Heck yeah. Let's do a mastermind in Costa Rica. That'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? Hey, so let me ask you guys, if we had some guests on, like sellers, other sellers that came on with me in kind of a StreamYard, and we just kind of talked for a while, answered some questions, maybe we did a little teaching, who would you want on the StreamYard with me? Who would you want to come join us for a little while? Particularly somebody already in the Shine On space, right? Not somebody outside of it, but someone in our community. Who would you like to have on to hang out? Hey, John, I'm going to add you to the stream. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. All right.
Hi, everybody.
We don't have audio from you.
What? Hello. Do you still not have audio?
No audio, buddy. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I forgot. I'm muted. Speak again.
Hey, can you hear me? Ask them to. Can they hear me? If you can hear me.
Yeah, I got you now, man.
Okay.
Hang on. That was on me.
Everybody thinks we're crazy.
That was my fault. All right, so I asked, I don't know if you heard, I asked who they'd want to come on to hang out. I'm seeing a
Besides
trend.
me, I'm already here. What else do they need?
I asked other sellers what other sellers they'd want. Will, Kirsta, James B. I don't know if he's in our community or not. I haven't seen James interact anyway. Kirsta, Will. Kirsta and Will Haymerl, huh? Seems like those are the big ones. Well, maybe we'll get one of them on.
Why does everybody want Kirsta? I mean, besides the obvious, are you guys all more interested in people that are using the platform or people that are using the app? Because, very different worlds, very different type of selling. So,
The delay is like 90 seconds almost, just so you know.
I can't see the chat, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, you can't?
No. 1 second, I'm going to get a water from out.
Amanda says she likes Product Personalizer. We're going to get started here in a minute, guys. Someone who is using the Facebook platform successfully, having their ad account banned. So John, funny thing on this, people that are having their ad accounts banned aren't necessarily non-compliant. See, there's an assumption here that people that aren't getting banned are perhaps doing something we're not. And I don't think that's actually the case. Have you ever seen that image? It's a really popular image from World War II of a bunch of soldiers about to storm the beaches in Normandy. It's like black and white, and they're all kind of in the little boat, and they're about to go off into the sea and into the surf and up the beaches into the machine guns. That's what advertising on Facebook is right now. At least that's how it feels to me. Chris Blair. Chris. I did see a few mentions of Chris. Chris would be great to have on. By the way, I love Chris. Kudos to that guy. He is totally legit. He's been grinding out at this e-com thing since like 2012, I think, specifically in the print-on-demand space. He has seen the ups and the downs. That guy is totally legit. If you guys aren't following Chris Blair, definitely recommend look that guy up on Facebook. He's got a lot to teach, and we have a lot to learn from him. Hang on here. Vote for platform, vote for app, vote for platform, platform app. It's probably going to be a toss-up.
Yeah.
Chris Blair, spelled just like this. That's who you guys want to go follow. And Facebook user, you should go show us your name. Joe wants Travis Patel.
Ooh.
Travis is he's legit too. He's super legit. When I first started getting into ecom, it was like him, Chris Blair, and Will Haymerrill. I think I followed first. So, and honestly, if I had to tell you how I feel about each of them, Will Haymerrill does an incredible job of just distilling the entire business down to its basics. So, like, I felt like Will Haymerrill really helped kind of clear the air on just the fundamentals of making this work. And he has like kind of real simple. He keeps things so simple. I was always kind of envious of that. Then Chris Blair is great on like branding, product research, becoming a master of your niche. He's really good on all of that stuff, like setting up a really good Shopify store. And Chris Blair, again, like I said, he's been doing this since 2012. That guy knows his stuff. And then Travis, I was always really impressed with Travis as a marketer and like even a media buyer. Like that guy was really good at setting up flows and funnels and like making sure you have kind of the whole package covered, not just like the Facebook stuff, but you also want to be doing email and that kind of stuff. So really liked Travis. So anyway, you have any thoughts on that, John?
You know, one thing, I say that I always found very interesting, and, you know, personally, I don't come from necessarily the print on demand background or the dropshipping background. My background's in more, you know, managing e-commerce companies. The actual like setting up of all the retargeting and the email campaigns and how advanced, I mean, it's one thing to set up a basic email like cart abandonment. It's another to get into where you have like 60 different messages that can get sent out and really digging into it and creating all these customizations and just how high of a converting campaign you can create. Some of that stuff pays off way more than some other things can. And, you know, anytime you can convert someone that you've already lost, that's just like money. So, you know, some of that stuff that's a little, you know, probably not what's most focused on. I think that stuff's super interesting. So I know that, you know, I geek out on email campaigns and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot to be said for like truly optimizing things. Like the platform, I still recommend everybody starts with the platform because it eliminates so many variables when you're just starting out. It really distills the entire thing down to the basics. I mean, it forces you to focus on the basics because you don't have a control a lot of other things. But the other thing the platform does is you become really good at cold acquisition. So one thing I've thought for a long time is like platform people that market on platforms are probably some of the best media buyers on the planet because they only do cold acquisition. Most businesses are okay taking a loss on the front end when they acquire a customer and trying to make up for the loss with repeat sales, offering additional deals, all that kind of stuff. People on the platform, like if you learn your ropes there, you will be a really, really good media buyer once you move on to and graduate to your own Shopify store, because you will have had to figure out how to make cold acquisition work. And that's a skill set in and of itself. And by the way, that skill set is extremely envious, like in the business world. I mean, like most marketers are not very good at that, you know? So if you can learn how to make cold acquisition profitable, you have a skill set that's going to be in demand.
Yeah, that's, you know, we would always, in the past, look at cold acquisition as a loss for that first sale. But as an e-com company, your, you know, first sale is a horrible metric to follow because you should never really be making your money on that. You make your money on lifetime sales. And that second and third sale are worth 3 to 4 times the amount of that first sale. So if you talk to any major e-commerce company, they're going to go out and hire an agency to do their cold acquisition because they're going to sit in-house and focus on lifetime value, just because that's where an e-commerce company sees the most like improvement and just straight up margins. So, that's where I've always spent most of my time. And we would hire an agency to run our Google ads and Facebook ads because cold acquisition, whoever's, it was easier to go hire an agency to try and learn it. That's where sellers like that we have that already know how to do it. That's a skill set that is not easy to come by. So if you can add in the other parts of fixing the lifetime value and getting that extra, you're just going to be super successful.
Totally, man. So again, especially if you're new, I recommend everybody start out on the platform. It eliminates a bunch of variables. You don't have to do customer service. You don't have to do branding. You don't have to do conversion rate optimization. You don't have to do any of that stuff. We do all of that for you. Literally, all you got to do is focus on ads and design. That's it. Those are the only 2 things you have to worry about. So I definitely recommend if you're new, stay on the platform. Once you get to about $25,000 in sales, feel free to graduate to a Shopify store. Just know that there's a whole other skill set you're going to have to learn once you get there. But you definitely need to learn this cold acquisition piece kind of on the front end. It will sharpen your skills as a media buyer. Roshan here says, platform is just lit. Honestly, 5% conversion rate this week. How's everybody else's conversion rates on the platform? You've got to calculate it manually, probably. But anybody else seeing good conversion rates on the platform? Now, keep in mind, you kind of need to have a selling product to calculate your conversion rates. How do I put this? A nice product is the only way to really know what your actual conversion rate is, because if your product sucks, it ain't going to convert anyway.
So you're saying that my 0% conversion rate is Chinon's fault, right?
That's precisely what I'm saying. All right, let's keep going. Someone asks if the ads are taking longer to be approved. I mean, probably because it's this time of year. Everybody's short-staffed. People that work at Facebook get to go on vacation too. So there's that kind of stuff. Plus, there's a weird bottleneck here where you have probably lots of demand and short supply, meaning lots of people are trying to test ads because there's a lot of buyers out right now, but then there's not a lot of people to sit there and improve them. It's probably some of what you're seeing. All right, we are half hour into this. We should probably get on to the material here. Somebody asks, are we going to go with yeah, we are. Oh, no, I'm probably not showing you one of my campaigns. If you guys really want to see that, I might be able to edit a video beforehand, but I have too much going on in all my ad accounts to really show you that, especially without giving away potentially, I don't want to say proprietary info, but stuff that needs to stay inside of Shinon.
If you guys want to see what not to do, I'm happy to share my ad account. There's not much to learn, I'll tell you that, though.
Here's Nelson. Yeah, Nelson's spot on here on that one. But we will be doing the 10 to 100. Michael asked if I'll be running ads on Thanksgiving Day. Well, Thanksgiving Day does just so happen to land in the fourth quarter. And it's like in the run up to Christmas. So I'm definitely going to be running some ads. I'll keep an eye on them, though, because sales on holidays can be really weird and almost finicky. Like usually on a typical day, you see a lot of sales in the morning, sales again around lunch, sales again around dinner. Holidays kind of throw that whole thing out the window. And don't write this down or anything because, like I said, it fluctuates. But I tend to see more sales kind of in the afternoons, early evenings on holidays. But
the only thing I'll say is this Thanksgiving is going to be a little goofy just because, normally Thanksgiving is everybody's off seeing family. So they're not around a computer. You're spending all that time watching football and cooking. And a lot of people aren't doing that this year. And they're actually going to be sitting in front of a computer doing a Zoom call. So there's an opportunity that this Thanksgiving could act in a completely different way than Thanksgivings have in the past. But I'm with Michael. In the past, campaigns didn't launch until like the evening on Thanksgiving, because you didn't see great value in the morning and the lead up. Like almost this entire week was considered like a dead zone. But I think this year it's not really applying. It's kind of a Wild West scenario.
I didn't even think of that, man. That's a really good point. All right, should we get into this how to scale from 10 to 100 here? If you guys are ready to do that, give me the little coffee emoticon in the chat. The little coffee emoji in the chat. What are you drinking? Dunkin' Donuts?
It's from yesterday.
Ooh,
I already drank my
that.
coffee. It's in the trash.
If you guys are ready, see little coffee emojis in the chats. Something like that.
Amazing.
I am an artist.
Is my video frozen or is that just me?
No, you're frozen. Oh, crap. Am I frozen?
No, you're moving. Let me just.
Okay. Hey, Kirsta, you were by popular demand. People want you to come on the StreamYard with me at some point. Do a little chit chat. We're probably not doing that today, but I'll reach out to you. We can try to set something up maybe next week or the week after, if you're inclined to do it. That is. Love everybody's little emojicons. What is this? It's a little too early for alcohol, I think.
Before we jump into how to scale 10 to 100, of the people that want to know how to scale 10 to 100, how many of you have seen Shine On You and actually watched any of the videos? I'm interested to see if you found that information helpful in getting you to the point where you're ready to figure out how to start getting that scaling side going.
Yeah, so John has been working hard on Shine On You. We've been putting it kind of out in emails. It was in Five Bullet Friday and some other places. So if you've taken Shine On You, did you find it helpful? Give us, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful did you find Shine On You if you're new? 10s, 5s, 1s, 7s, 7.5s.
I've already recognized a couple names that are in the phone call, so I know a couple of them. I know a couple of people have also attended one of my free beginner webinars that I do as well. I've seen a couple of people commenting already that went through that, that's a really nice thing. And yes, one person did say that they are basic, and that is the point. They are basic. They're not meant to be. They're making sure you can set up your account, set up products, and get to the point where then you're jumping into Facebook and doing it on that side. So Peggy's got an 8.135. I like that. That's very specific.
So, hey, if John, if there's somebody new and they want to get on your live stream Friday, assuming we have one Friday, how can they do that?
I can post a registration link for it. It's a Zoom call. I do 10 a.m. every Friday Eastern time. When you sign up for the platform or the app, you actually get an email with it. But I will share a link to the registration in the comments on this post, so everybody can look for me saying something.
And if you just joined the Facebook group recently, you should have received the link via an email after you joined the Facebook group too. It may not have come like the instant you joined the Facebook group, but it should have come within a day or two. All right, let's rock. All right, so the question was, how do we scale getting my pin here. From 10. Oh, shoot. Come on. There we go. So from 10 to 100 sales. So what this question kind of assumes some things. First of all, it assumes that you already knew how to test to get to 10 sales, right? So it assumes that testing is not where you're having the hang up here. The problem is just getting from here all the way over here. So how do you take something that seems to test fairly well and then scale it to 100 sales? So the first question, I think, really is about the validity of these test results. So before you have something that I would even attempt to scale, you want to make sure you can get to 10 here, right? And you want to make sure you can do that profitably, or at least marginally profitable, right? But like if you're at a loss at 10 sales, you're at a loss, then that is probably a sign that's not a very good product and you should ditch it. If you're at a loss here and you're trying to get to 100 and it's just not going, it's the data is telling you something already. You're trying to force the product to do something it's just not capable of doing. Is all of that making sense? Is that making sense? Give me a 1 in the chat if that's making sense here. By the way, here's the link to Shine On You. It's in the chat, so go find it in the chat and click it. I'm not going to hold it up here on the screen long enough for you to write it in, probably. All right, we got some
I
ones.
also posted a link for the webinar as well.
Okay. Okay, the same with the webinar. You're going to have to go find it in the chat because I'm not going to hold it up here probably long enough. Go find it in the chat, click that, you can join. Yeah, that is a sword behind me. If you sell 5,000 Shine On products, we give you a sword. So go get a sword. Lots of ones here. Okay, good. So everybody kind of understands that if you realistically want to get to 100 sales, you kind of got to meet this criteria, right? You got to get to 10 sales, break even, or at least, profitable, or at least break even. Now, the question is, how do you do it? So here's what I've been doing that's kind of working for me. So one of the testing methods I use literally every day right now is I have a campaign that is ABO, and I call this penny slots. I have 5 ad sets, and each of the ad sets have a $6 budget. It can be $5. There's nothing magical about 6. The only reason I do 6 is because that means my total daily budget is about $30 a day, and it just works out for my math on the platform. So just don't get hung up on $6. Something like 5 though will work. And so what I do during testing, and I'm not going to cover it all here, but what I do is I run this for one day, then I literally turn it off, duplicate it, right? And then I basically rebuild it, since I duplicated it, I set it up for the next day, and then I run it again, right? So exact same structure and all that, and I just run it again. I do that basically 3 days in a row. And I spend, everybody knows my testing stuff by now, it's 2 times my break-even cost per purchase. And if I don't have any sales, I drop it. If I have a sale, then I try to get to 10 sales. Okay. So we assume we've done all of this and we've done well. So now how do I go from this using this kind of method, right? And how do I get to 100 sales? Here's what I've been doing that's kind of working for me. So I will, after I've identified I kind of have a winner, I will have my campaign. Again, it's ABO campaign. And it's got my ad sets in it from my last day of testing, right? So this is like day 3. I know I'm kind of onto something at this point. And what I will do here is I'll run my ads still at $6, right? Each of them. And I'll let these run. And then what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll review them. You can set up rules to do this too. I tend to review them. And what I do is any of them that get sales get to live. Any of them that don't get sales die, right? I kill them, right? So at the end of day 1, it may look something like this, where I have 2 ad sets with sales and a bunch without. Then literally the next day, I add more ad sets. So maybe I'll add 5 more the next day. So I'm not killing the campaign every day. Once I get to want to start scaling, I'm literally just having the one ABO campaign, and I'm killing the underperforming ad sets, leaving the performing ad sets on. And then I'm basically bringing in reinforcements, and I'm adding more ad sets to that campaign. And again, I'm just kind of doing the same rules at the beginning. So I'm just going to do $6 ones all the way down the line. And again, I'll kill the underperforming ones. I do that with rules, or I do it manually. I'm not going to get into the formula part of it or any of that stuff. If you're asking this question, you've got most of that down already. So then I literally will keep doing this day over day. And if I'm staying above probably a one, come on. If I'm staying above about a 1.75 ROAS, if I'm greater than that, then I literally just keep doing this. And after a few days, and again, I kind of feel this out. I don't do it on the third day always. I don't do it on the fifth day always or anything like that. But what I'll do is after, like, I'm kind of getting a feeling for how the data trends over days, is I come in here and I start increasing the budgets of the new ad sets, the reinforcements I'm adding to this campaign. So what I'll do is instead of $6, maybe I'll bump it up to 10, right? And if it does pretty good at 10, then I'll start adding some at 20. If it does good at 20, I'll add some at 25. Now, the reason I've been doing this kind of slowly is because this year in particular, not this year, I'd say the last 4 months, like every time I've had a product that comes strong out of the gate and then I try to scale it, it implodes. It just like it collapses in on itself like a dying star. It's super frustrating. So what I found is I really have to sit there and dance with my testing method for a while to make sure that I'm in fact on a winning product. And the way I've just done this, and I kind of stumbled upon this by accident. The way I've been doing it is just by adding those $6 ad sets. So here, I'll tell you how I did it on accident. What I was doing, my old process was if I test strong out of the gate at $6 a day, what I was doing was I was adding like 10 $100 ad sets to it in an attempt to scale it. And those were all failing. Well, one day we forgot and we left the $100 ad sets at $6, and a bunch of those ended up getting sales. So I thought, well, that's interesting. So I stayed at the $6 ad set level for a while, and then I slowly started nudging up the budget as I scaled more and more and more. And that's kind of how I'm growing right now from 10 to 100 sales. That's like this weird ramping up period on Facebook right now. So I would say, if you think about it, you almost have zero. Let me move this over. You almost have like from zero, come on. From zero to 10 sales. This is like testing, right? And then from 10 to 100 is basically ramping up. And then 100 plus is scaling. It really feels like Facebook is operating in 3 distinct phases now, and almost like you need 3 different strategies to go from one to the other. This is just my experience right now on Facebook. So that's kind of how I am doing it. Is all this helpful, and is that making sense? Give me a 1 in the chat. If I was unclear anywhere, now's a great time to ask me some questions. Is all of this making sense? And John, I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that.
Do you ever have a situation where you feel like you're in testing phase 1, but you've already identified something that you can scale? Like, have you ever skipped the ramping stage because like you have a $6 one and it gets 3 sales and you're just like, throw money at it?
Well,
that ever happen?
Yeah. Well, I want to say, like, yeah, the answer is yes. I can think on multiple occasions this has happened to me, but in the last 6 months or so, this has happened. It feels like something's changed in the Facebook algorithm. And now when you get a new test that has a pretty strong showing out of the gate, it used to be that was a pretty good indicator you were on to something, like you had a good winning product. Now it's, I don't trust it anymore because I've had too many campaigns that come out of the gate and get some sales over my testing day period. And then as soon as I try to scale them, they just fall in on themselves. They collapse in on themselves. So for example, I had one product just today. This is a brand new test, so it hasn't gone the full 3 days yet. But I got a sale literally right out of the gate. Just boom, got a sale. Getting a bunch of add to carts, getting initiate checkouts. I mean, the data on it is looking good, but I still just don't trust that I'm really onto something until I've taken it past ramping up and I've tried to scale, because I just don't trust Facebook anymore with that kind of stuff. Is that making sense?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. That's what I've been seeing. My testing recently has been, first stage of testing, and I get a sale or two. So then the next thing I know, I'm like, ooh, and I get really excited, and then I go and up the budget, and rather I want to skip a step and move to the part where I make lots of money, and it just dies off after that first day. So the only reason I ask is because I keep making that mistake because I get excited, and I'm afraid everybody else is too.
Well, it's hard not to, because you think you're onto something, but unfortunately with Facebook these days, you really don't know until you try putting the pedal to the metal. It's Facebook is a very strange thing anymore. I will tell you that a year ago, I have data coming through my dashboard where, like, a year ago, if I saw this data, I'd be taking completely different actions than I do today, because it's like the algorithm has just changed. I don't know any other way to really say it. Sanjay says, thanks, Michael. Just confirming, you still got the one ad per ad set. Yeah, that's correct. And yeah, in the scenario I just laid out, everything is the same. The ad set, the ad pair, they're all the same. Somebody else asked, I think it was Matt. I just can't find the question. Dupe targeting. Yeah. For the ramping up part, I do try to do duplicate targeting. I will tell you that here, like in this stage right here, I will start to play with targeting. It, depending on like the niche I'm going after and the product and all that kind of stuff, I may experiment with targeting to see if I can find any good pockets of buyers. Typically here though, in testing, I don't experiment with targeting. Testing is like your best guess at everything because your budgets are small. You don't really have a lot of room to do testing. So I use my best audience, my best ad copy, and all that stuff. I wouldn't even experiment with testing until you get to ramping up. And even then, probably the only thing I would test is maybe your interests. I wouldn't mess with the ad or anything like that at this time. Now, look, one thing you could do, because I know there's some people out there who are probably getting stuck. Like you go from 10 and you're trying to get up there, right? And you're at 30 sales and you're just kind of struggling here. And as long as you're not at a big loss, it might be okay to sit here and try to figure out what is going on. If I had data like that, right? If I had, what did I just do, man? There we go. If the data was telling me that like, hey, you kind of are onto something, but there's still a little something missing. What I might do at that point in time is keep the phrase, right? And maybe try the phrase on like maybe 3 different designs, right? But keep in mind that each of these designs, all of these have to go back through your testing process. They don't get to start in ramping up. They start in testing, okay? Because you need to make sure the designs and all that and your phrase match and are validated. But I might try 3 different designs just to see if I could find out why I couldn't get past $30 or 30 purchases. Depending on your phrase, you may read your phrase out loud, study your phrase, maybe have a little typo in it or something like that. Maybe there's something else you can fix, but it might be worthwhile to try to do some troubleshooting if you're stalling out somewhere between 10 and 100 sales. But look, I wouldn't get your hopes up too much. A lot of products just will not go, right? That's just the name of the game. So you can try to troubleshoot a little bit. You can look at your phrase, maybe you have some typos or something like that you need fixed. Maybe you can try the same phrase with a few different designs to see if one of those will take off. But again, be careful not to throw too much good money after bad. It could just be a bad product. Kirsta says also prepare yourself mentally, as you may also get products that scale to 100 and don't have much more traction after that. You should be prepared to kill it at a later point too. Yeah, that's really true. Especially as you get past 100 sales, because look, man, like 100 sales is kind of commitment level in a sense. Like if you get a product at 100 sales, you might start getting overly attached to it. You might be spending a lot of money on it, like, and it may be taking your attention away from continuing to test and all this other stuff. And that's a very dangerous situation. I've always said I would rather have a product that fails out of the gate or scales and like nothing in between. Like if it's not going to scale, I'd rather it just die right out of the gate and just waste all my testing money, not even get a single sale, because those products in the middle, in between completely bombing and testing and being able to scale, those products in the middle are the where the risk is in this business, because you will get overly attached to them. You'll spend too much time, energy, and effort trying to get them to scale. You'll throw a bunch of good money after them, when the fact of the matter may be they're just crap products. Good to know. Good to know on lookalikes. That may be a conversation somewhere else. Let's see. The one you got a sale today, will you keep that ad going and delete the others during the next 3 days on a repost tomorrow? So what I'll do is at the end of today, I'll turn it off and I'm going to duplicate it and set it to start again tomorrow morning. That's what I'm going to do on today's ad. And I'll do this for the first 3 days of testing. And I want to make sure that I'm onto something here before I start, playing around with it and trying to get it to 100 sales. Again, you kind of want to stay in your testing process till you get to 10 sales. That's kind of milestone number one for me. If I can get to 10 sales and I can be break even or marginally profitable, I'll move into the next phase. All right. So look, I made this super simple. Yeah, it can be more complex than this. There's a lot of different strategies out there. You can just throw money at it, for example. I mean, there's a ton of different things you can do here in the ramping up phase. This is what I'm doing because I'm finding that this is kind of working for me right now, which is why I shared it. So just to very quickly recap. So I'll take my testing method. Right now, I really like penny slots. It's working for me. So I do one ABO and I do five $6 ad sets. And I do that for 3 days in a row. At the end of each day, I turn off the previous day's ad set, duplicate it, set it up for the next day. I do that 3 days in a row. At the end of 3 days, if I have even one purchase, I'll keep playing around with the testing method, trying to get to 10 purchases. And I want to get to 10 purchases at break even or marginally profitable. Once I get to 10 purchases, what I'll do is I'll take the very last day's worth of testing. I'll take the last day's ad set that I use for testing, and instead of killing it on that day, what I'll do is I'll just turn off the underperforming ad sets and I'll just send in reinforcements. I'll add like 5 or 10 additional $6 ad sets, and I'll let them run. I'll treat them the same way the next day. If they perform, they live. If they don't perform, they die, right? It's kind of how I treat it. And I kill a bunch of more ad sets, and then I'll make more reinforcements. So I'll just do that over and over again as I climb towards 100 sales. And I'll start slowly increasing the budget. So if the $6 ones are doing okay, I'll bump it to 10. If the 10 do okay, I'll bump it to 15 or 20, and so on and so forth. And I really don't start to scale until this thing shows signs of stability, right? Where I keep throwing money at it. It keeps performing about the same. I'm still profitable. That's when I would start to feel safe to actually move it into a scaling phase. But it really does seem like Facebook anymore really has you operating in 3 distinct phases. You have kind of testing, then ramping up, and then scaling. And look, I will say this. There's many ways up the mountain, right? So even on this call today, we've talked about a bunch of really good sellers. We've talked about Travis Patel, Chris Blair, Kirsta, Will Haymerrill, Zinedine, Irwin. Like there's a bunch of really good sellers out there in our community right now. And there's many ways up the mountain, right? Everybody's kind of got their own methods that they've kind of worked out and all this kind of stuff. And they've kind of found their own ways up the mountain. You can learn from everybody, okay? You can learn from every one of these people. Just because one person is having success, I've seen this time and time again, it does not mean they have the corner on how this stuff works, right? So feel free to learn from anybody. This is what's currently working for me. The other thing I would say, especially if you're new, it's very easy to get hung up in the Facebook kung fu stuff, right? Where if something fails, you feel like it's because your Facebook method is busted. And you go hunting for other Facebook methods. I've seen this over and over and over again. And by the way, I'm even susceptible to this. I find myself, I was on a call just the other day with another really good seller in our group. Luna. And I was telling her that like I'm susceptible to this too, where I will get a product that like is kind of doing some things for me, and I just can't quite like sometimes I just can't quite get it over this hump. It just feels like there's something there that's just like an invisible ceiling I just can't seem to break through. And I'll find myself in my mind starting to go back to like my Facebook methods. Am I structuring this the right way? Am I doing that the right way? Should I play with manual bidding? Should I do this? Should I do that? Like I'll find myself being tempted back into that. And anytime my mind goes there, to me, it's a sign to like pause and ask myself if I really have a good product. Because more often than not, I've found that if you have a good product, any method will work. If you have a good product, any method will work. If you don't have a good product, you're sitting there trying to create magic. You're trying to create momentum for the product when it just is not going to work for you. So when I find myself mentally like challenging my own methods, I start to go, wait a minute. You're falling into a trap, right? It could just be that this product sucks and no method is going to save it, right? So if you're new, keep in mind at the bottom, there's many ways up the mountain. At the very bottom of that, right? At the foundation, the mountain sits on, that all good Facebook strategies sit on, is a winning product. If you don't have the winning product piece, no amount of Facebook Kung Fu will save it. Is all of this making sense? Let's see some fire. Give me some fire emojis in the chat. Fire emojis in the chat if this is making sense. Would you? So, John, I know you're kind of selling and doing some of your stuff.
Kind of.
Is this resonating with you at all? Is this making sense to you?
Yeah, I'd say I'm not at this point yet. I'm not to the 10 sales. I don't think I've been able to get a product in a week above like the 4 to 5 sale region. So I think for me, I'm really trying to master ad copy, master images, master all the little call outs and things like that. I'm playing with emojis right now. I personally hate emojis, but apparently those help to convert. So I'm playing with a lot of that. I'm also spending a lot of time building out my page and my audience there. But I'll be honest, I have a very untrained pixel. And so I probably should have started this back in like June, because I don't spend a ton of time on it. I'll be honest with you, where most people are going to spend 3-4 hours a day. Maybe I'm 20 minutes. A lot of other stuff going on. Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, I will say that product really is everything. Like I have found that the only everything is pretty forgiving except product. Meaning, if you have a good product, you can make a lot of mistakes in other areas. Your copy can be off. Your landing page can suck. Your methods can be difficult. Even your pixel can be relatively new. And if you have a winning product, like you can still succeed with even in spite of all those other things. But if you don't have a winning product, it literally does not matter how awesome the rest of this stuff is. You just can't make it work. So here's a good analogy. I kind of think that a good like imagine an airplane, right? Like a Boeing 777 or something like that. A good product is like the engines on your Boeing 777. Does everybody know what a Boeing 777 looks like? We're going to pull one up. Boeing 777. And why is it not on my screen? Hang on, guys. I've flown on a bunch of these things. When I lived in India, we'd fly back and forth like almost once a month. And these things are like masterpieces in the engineering world, right? There's a Boeing 777. Those engines are gigantic. They're gigantic. The plane seat 3, 3, and 3 if you're on a single decker. And they're just huge. They're just really big planes. And it's hard to believe that you can get this entire thing up off the ground with 2 little guys in this cockpit up here at the beginning. In fact, I would even say that's made me feel unsafe flying in these on more than one occasion. Because I'm like, how? It just doesn't even seem like it should be possible. You got two little guys up here flying this giant machine. And by the way, we're not on the ground when they're operating it. It just, anyway, okay. So my point though is that if you imagine an airplane, a winning product to me is like the engines, right? Like if you have no, if you don't have a winning product, it doesn't matter how well the rest of this machine was built. It's not going anywhere. It's not getting off the ground. It's not moving down the runway. Nothing. Like you won't even be able to get it out of the hangar. You've got to have good engines on it if you really want to fly, right? And winning products are like these engines, in my opinion, right? If your airplane does not have a winning product, it's not getting off the ground, right? If your campaigns don't have winning products, they're not getting off the ground. So the winning products to me are like the airplanes on an engine. That's one way you can think about it. The rest of this stuff, it doesn't matter how beautiful the rest of this is. If your product is not a winner, if this engine is not big enough, you cannot get that airplane into the air.
To further confuse people with this analogy, one thing I'd like to say is view the Shine-On product as the airplane and your message card as the engines. An airplane's an airplane. It holds people. There's wings. It'll fly. But how well it flies really comes down to that engine, and that's what makes it powerful. So you can have a great looking airplane that can't take off because the message card's not helping it. So, but once you pair that beautiful airplane with those really big engines, that's when you have a winning product. So that message card is really an important thing.
If this analogy is working, give us a little airplane emoji in the chat here. We got lots of fire from before. I'm kind of liking this emoji thing. It's much more fun than the ones and the twos and all that kind of stuff. Give me
that I don't like emojis.
Give me an airplane emoji in the chat if the analogy is working for you. Hopefully that's making some sense. All right. Could you give examples of ad copies? Sorry if it's already been covered. Hey, go back through some of my other videos. And you'll find some examples. There's one video in particular where I break down ad copy. In fact, go to our YouTube channel. I think you'll have an easier time finding it. But I go through a whole formula for how you can write ad copy. I'll give you some basic examples of ad copy that I write on my ads. I keep everything super simple, guys. My ad copy, it's like 2 lines when I'm testing. So there are my airplanes. All right. I'm liking it. Good. Everybody's getting it. Okay, what is that? Oh, it's just a different airplane emoji. Nice. I didn't even know there was more than one. So that's like pretty cool.
4 of them.
So hang on, guys. Looking for some questions here. If you have any questions, let me know. There's a little bit of a delay between the chat and you guys, so put your questions in now. I'm going to start working through them here a little bit. Who's a good person to learn Facebook ads from? Well, we've mentioned probably 5 or 6 on the call today, but you can also, I mean, you guys can really get your feet underneath you by literally just going back through all my Facebook Lives and our YouTube channel. I mean, I have covered so much, like I haven't given away an incredible amount of material for free in the YouTube channel and our Facebook page. I've answered a ton of questions. I've covered most of the basics. So just go looking for my name in the Facebook group or go to our YouTube channel. Those are great, great resources, especially if you're just starting out. Let's see. Irene says she wishes there were more whales. So whales are what we call these winning products, right? Sometimes when I'm testing, I talk about whale fishing, right? I like to go deep out into the ocean. I have giant audiences in my ad sets, and I'm trying to find a product that will really, really scale for me beyond just 100 or 1,000 sales, but something that will scale to 10 or 20,000. That's like kind of my goal when I'm doing this. I call those whales. Those are whale products to me. So that's where that language is coming from. Let's see. Guys, do you take the same approach for each new product you want to sell? So if you're selling 4 Shine-On products, do you have the same approach 4 times? Well, I use the same testing method for all of those. The only thing that may change is the interest, and that'll just depend on which niche those 4 products are in. If all 4 products are in the same niche, then yeah, I will literally run each of them the exact same way. That's how I like to do it. Another one from Sanjay. Michael, what do you mean by winning product? We are talking about Shine On products, right? So it's stuff from the catalog. What am I missing, folks? So look, a product, I put my pen away, so you're just going to have to, oh, look, we can type. So I think a product equals, can I make that bigger for everybody? There we go. Product equals your design plus the jewelry piece, right? That's kind of a product to me. So when I talk about winning products, you have to find kind of the magic combination between these two to create a winning product. And I will tell you that in my experience, like 95% of what makes a winning product is the design. And by the way, I'm kind of screwing this up here. Phrase design. There we go. Phrase design plus the jewelry piece. And in fact, it would probably look a little bit more like that. Phrase plus the design plus the jewelry piece. Can I get rid of that? There we go. Product equals phrase plus design plus your jewelry piece. And I would say 95% of your success is the phrase. So like the phrase is the most important part to focus on. You need to do lots of product research, find a good winning phrase that resonates with an audience. And then what you need to do is create a design that complements the phrase. Like your design can't be too loud, too colorful. It's like I'd advise you to kind of stay away from that. You kind of want your design to be more abstract, to hang out in the background, that kind of thing. It needs to be kind of background music, right? You don't want it to steal the show from the phrase. Now, I've seen all kinds of stuff work. Okay, so I'm a little bit of a disclaimer here. I've seen products that totally break these rules work really well. I'm just saying that if you're new and you're trying to get the hang of this, these are the fundamentals, right? Do product research, find good winning phrases that resonate with your audience, and then try to create designs that are kind of vanilla, hang out in the background, and like don't steal the show from the phrase. They can complement it, but you don't want them to compete for attention with the phrase. So I hope that answers your question, Sanjay. And then Elaine says winning product equals a message card. Yeah, pretty much. Got it. So Shine On product plus message card equals a winning product. Yeah, I think you guys are getting the point now. Got some more airplanes here. Love my little airplanes. What happened to the fishing analogies? Well, I'm full of analogies. Okay. So the fishing analogies will come back. I'm expanding my horizons here and trying some different things. What Shine On products are selling the most right now? Well, so I would advise you to practice with like Alluring Beauty, Forever Love, and Interlocking Hearts. Interlocking Hearts is always a great seller for us. So that's always a good one. It works best in like the family daughter niche. And then like your Forever Love and Alluring Beauty seems to work better in the romance niches. But I've seen Alluring Beauty work well with the daughter stuff too. So you're gonna have to kind of experiment. Forever Love in particular has always seemed to do a little bit better in the romance niches. I have seen it sell with daughter stuff, but it's doesn't seem to catch quite the same momentum. Some products that I do think people will smash it with if they can just get them figured out is I think Sweetest Hearts could do really, really well. It's got hand stamp personalization. The stick necklace can do really well. Also, we've got some, I think the giraffe could just smash. I really do. Just need to crack the code on that. And then also we've got some products coming up again soon that I think are going to do incredibly well. So stay tuned for that, probably next week on that. And these guys are going to, it wouldn't shock me at all if someone does $1 million in revenue just between now and the end of the year on one of these new products we have coming up. Just wait till you see them. I think you'll get what I mean.
I'm listening to you like, don't give it away.
I won't. It's hard not to. I just want to sufficiently tease everybody. But it's a really, really nice product. And I'm not kidding. I think in the hands of the right person with the right design, someone could probably push 7 figures between now and the end of the year revenue on this product. That's a tall order, I know, but I think this product has the potential. Let's see, what else do we have? Is there a difference between ad and boosting? So I would recommend Googling or looking on YouTube for the answer to this question. The answer is yes. You probably don't want to use boosted posts for paid ads, but definitely Google around. You'll get some good answers on that one. What if you have a good product with bad targeting? How do you know that there's a problem? Well, this is why I like to stay kind of broad in my targeting, because it eliminates the targeting from being one of the variables. So what I like to do, if I have a pixel that's somewhat seasoned, like I've had like 100 sales on it ish, I like to go broad with my targeting. By broad, I just mean like one big interest. So I'll choose parents all, married, something like that, where like you have multi-millions in those audience sizes. If your audience is brand new or your pixel's brand new, you may have to put what I call bumper lanes on the pixel. So just like you put training wheels on like a little tricycle, you can put bumper lanes on like a pixel. Like bumper lanes are for bowling alleys. So what I'll do is I'll have my primary interest being like parents all, for example, if you have a daughter product, and then my secondary interest, I'll choose narrow by, and I'll add secondary interest in there to kind of shrink the target audience a little bit. And those secondary interests, if I have a daughter product, I'll try to choose secondary interests that a parent may be associated with who has a daughter. So for example, softball, volleyball, dance, cheerleading, ballet, something like a daughter might be interested in. That's kind of how I like to do that. You don't want to be so kind of refined with your targeting, because then targeting becomes this other variable that you have to contend with and trying to find a winner. What app do you use to have multiple pixels in Shopify? I like Trackify X. I like Trackify X. Thomas Barkey's a real great guy. He's the developer of Trackify X. We actually use it ourselves here at Shine On. I've used it for years, so I'm a big fan of Trackify X. It is paid. I think it's like $70 or something. Actually, I think it's cheaper. I think he has like a $29 plan. No. Question about scaling your IM algorithm. Since you mentioned before in your live, you try to have fewer Facebook pages. How do you deal with 250 ad limit and scaling, especially because, yeah, so that's a great question. I would just keep it under. So first of all, the 250 limit it's 250 ads in play or in review. So you can have a bunch of ads that you've made and like turned off. Those don't count. It's just ads in play or in review. So I would just adjust my IM algorithm method to stay within 250 assets. Don't get me wrong, that does place a little bit of a limiting factor on that method, but I still think it's totally doable because you can just have ad sets with larger budgets. So I'm not really too turned off by that at the moment. I asked this earlier, and it's not related to scaling, but since the Mahogany box rollout, I'm not getting the button for Product Personalizer on my listings. About to reach out to them on this, but if anyone is using Product Personalizer, you might want to check your pages. Oh, I see. On the product page itself, the little personalized button isn't showing up. I think that's what she's saying here. So I just open a ticket with support on that, and we'll look at it.
I'm trying to think of a reasoning for this. It works with some of my products. I mean, I know I've tested it and it works for me. Make sure you're using the Shine On product page with it. If you're not using the product page and you're using your store page, it's possible you don't have the product personalizer code in there. And so and when you added it, it could have gotten it switched off. So just double check that. If you are on a Shine On product page template, then contact support and we'll look into it. It might be something to do with your theme. We'll just have to double check.
Thank you for bringing that up, Irene. Jesse, do you prefer no interest targeting or interest targeting on scale? My no interest ads seem to have higher CPMs and cost per purchase than my interest targeted ad sets, even after 4,000 pixel purchases, conversion events, which is a lot different from what I experienced last year with my drop shipping and branded stores. I experiment with both. So I've had success with both. I tend to like to put at least one interest in my ad sets. That's just me, but I know people that run them completely wide open and basically do their targeting through the ad and seem to do really well. I know one. I know this guy owns an agency, and he does marketing for like a big ecom brand, and he does a thing where I have one campaign, and then literally like every other day, he creates new creatives for the campaign or the product, and he launches them into their own ad set inside this campaign, and there's literally no targeting on it at all. And this method just is crushing it for him. And he just every single day or every other day or so, he's adding new creatives to it. And this is all he does. He has one campaign. He just adds a bunch of new creatives to it. He turns off any that aren't performing, keeps the ones that are performing, and just boom, keeps doing it. But here's the thing. It works because, again, it goes back to this airplane analogy over here. They have a winning product. They have an incredible product market fit. And that product is powering the entire campaign. It's providing all the needed power to make those sales. So you can't do that with a losing product. The other thing is this particular product is different than a print-on-demand necklace in that they have the ability to do a bunch of new creatives every other day. What I mean by that is this product, I don't want to give it away. Let's just say let's pretend for a minute it's makeup. It's like he can do videos of influencers putting the makeup on. He can show the makeup, zoom in on the makeup, show people applying the makeup, show like the makeup against other products. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff he can do with it from a creative point of view. It's a little bit different with a print-on-demand product. You can still be creative and come up with things like that, but most of the time a necklace, for example, doesn't need to be explained. Like it doesn't have that kind of element to it. So anyway, hope that answers the question. Let's see. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I'm kind of losing track here, doing my best. Can we get stethoscope back on the platform? So Donna, that was kind of a me idea to remove it because with COVID and the election and Facebook freaking out and everybody losing their ad accounts, Facebook has this rule that was saying that they weren't letting people do like COVID related products like masks and stuff unless their ad accounts were at least 3 months old and had been in good standing. And I just thought, most people using the platform are relatively new, and it's probably not worth the risk of like some of our new people losing their ad accounts for experimenting with stethoscope. So it was kind of speculation on my part. And we made the decision. So we made the decision to do it like probably back in like, I don't know, July or August. It took us a little while to get it removed from the platform though, unfortunately. So that's kind of where that came from. It will probably be back, but I doubt it's going to be back for the end of the year. Let's see. Diane, campaign budget optimization, basically budget at campaign level instead of ad level. Yes. I think someone was answering a question here. Jill or Gil, got a sale while on this call. Great work, buddy. Congrats to you.
I didn't get a sale on the call so far.
Go refresh your ads manager, man.
I am constantly.
Jesse, can't wait for the new products. Look, I don't mean to I don't want to tease anybody too much here, but I am saying that these new products are pretty amazing. I can't wait for them to hit because I kind of want to play around with these with some of our own stuff. I really do believe somebody could do 7 figures in revenue with one of these new products, even with the time left in the end of the year. I'm not kidding. You're going to be surprised when you see the product a little bit, especially now I've built it up so much because it's kind of a play on an existing product. But we brought you the wood box last week, right? And this thing has done exceptionally well. This new thing that's coming, I'm probably more excited about it than I was about the wooden box. So there you go.
Everybody likes higher order values, I think, right? Who doesn't like making more money? I like creating products that make you guys more money. So
I think one of these products could legitimately have a viral element to it where it just, anyway, you'll see. You're just probably going to have to wait though till next week. So it's Wednesday. So we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Do you think Monday will be ready, John? May have to wait all day Monday.
I'm not. Don't bait me into that.
So,
especially after a weekend.
we're just going to have to wait. We're going to have to see what happens here, So just stay tuned. Check in every day. You never know. We like to surprise you. It is the holiday. There might be a Christmas miracle. We may get this thing ready to rock and roll beforehand. But it's coming, and it's going to be awesome. So there you have it.
Making my life difficult.
We need bracelets. I don't know. Could have something to do with bracelets. Maybe not. Just going to have to wait to see. It might. Look at John. If you saw John, that was very telling. The face he made. What does that mean? Okay.
And Adrian, there already are bracelets. What do you want?
I know which products. Looks dope. I don't think you do on this one, Kirsten.
Kirst, you don't know this one.
I don't think you do. This one, I don't think this one's seen the light of the day on our other stores.
Nope.
So we got you this time, baby. We got you. You are always finding all of our crap. You're looking at our stores. You're looking at my own personal URLs. We have tricked you finally. We shook you off. We love you, dude.
Why else do you think I've been asking him how he knows everything?
What's that?
So I've been asking Kirst for the last week how he keeps finding everything out, so that we can avoid him finding everything out, not because we're impressed.
I'm worried we got like a mole on the inside, and we're gonna have to do a shakedown. We're gonna have to get an interrogation room inside of Shine On, and
I've always suspected that Ian guy.
Yeah, it could be that Ian dude. He's a little shifty. Can't totally trust that guy. Anyways, you're close, Michael. Just say, I wish I could. Should I just show him real quick?
No.
Come on.
No.
I could just pop this box, and maybe it's inside. I was making John legitimately nervous there.
I'm sweating a little bit right now.
Okay, new products. Get my wallet out for more testing, more. That's right. And one thing that's cool is Black Friday, Cyber Monday ends this weekend. So CPMs are going to come down on the other side of it, but sales will continue to go up. So it's going to be pretty sweet. Roshan, 1 million on new product. You got it.
Oh, man. Ian was listening to this conversation.
All right, guys. I'm doing a quick time check here. We're going to have to wrap this up in a few minutes. I probably need to answer one or two more questions and wrap it up. I kind of lost track of time here. I got some other stuff I got to knock out. So let me find a few more questions here.
I know one thing I've been getting a lot of requests about are this box and how much they want it on a lot of our other products. And I do want everyone to know it is something that we are looking into doing. There's just some development work that has to go into it. We released it with everything that we were easily able to release it with because we wanted to get it out there to you now rather than holding it back a couple weeks. So that is why you're seeing basically a limited release of this box. So do know that we're working on it, but I can't make any promises on it being released for anything else at this point. So I would go ahead and switch over to the products that do work with the box so that you can get those going. But we are hoping to get it going for some more products soon.
All right, everybody. I think we are going to wrap it up. Elaine says we want to spill it. I do kind of want to tell everybody, but I can't do it. All right. Hey, everybody, was this helpful? If this was helpful, let's see some emojis. Give us your favorite emoji in the chat here if this was helpful. Keep it clean. The favorite emojis in the chat here if this was helpful. And we're going to wrap this up. Favorite emoji in the chat here if this was helpful. Do you know what material the box is, John?
So the box is meant to resemble mahogany, but it's not actually wood. I do believe it is HDPE, a high density plastic. but it is meant to look like wood.
So there you go. All right, we've got some emojis coming in. Hearts. Got 2 people whose favorite emoji is the little swirling heart thing. I'm a big fan of this one. Where's it at? I'm trying to find you, Mauricio. I like this guy right here. The little sunglasses one. The response is slow because everybody's combing through all the emojis. They're like, which one's my favorite? If I like this one, what does that say about me?
Yeah.
John.
It looks so much
You got a
different on my
pointer,
side.
John.
On my side, it was a guy holding a pointer pointing at a chart. It made way more sense from how I saw it.
Ooh, I like this one too. Matt picked a good one. So did Nelson. I like this one too. The rocket. Fire's always good. All right, everybody. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for tuning in. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you here next week. Appreciate everybody. Take care.